friends, my name is Mailynn and welcome back to my channel. I'm a flutist, performer, and music teacher located in the city of Kamloops, British Columbia, and this is my channel where we learn all things flute. So thank you so much for joining me here today. In today's video, we'll be doing one of the popular classics, bingo, so if you're interested then just keep on watching. As always, if you have any questions throughout the video, feel free to drop them in the comment section down below. I do my best to answer them as soon as I see them. And of course, if you do have any issues when it comes to practicing, feel free to check out my free practice guide, also located in the description down below. It gives you 8 easy steps to follow to help you to get a better practice session in. Alright, so let's just get right into today's video. Okay, so I'm going to be putting up my own transcription of bingo. I'm going to put it up right over here. So I did take this off of 8notes.com as well, so if you do want to see the original, it's going to be there. So let's just go through the piece, and we're going to go through our 4 starter bits before we get into playing the actual piece. So the first thing we're going to look at is our key signature. So we do see that we have one flat in the key signature, and if you remembered what that flat is, it is a B flat, and in the key signature that we're going to be reading it in is going to be F major, and F major has that one flat at the beginning. And just to check, we do end on an F, and we do start in that F major triad. We don't have any accidentals throughout the piece, so we would just play every other note as natural, and all the B's are flat. The next thing we're going to look at is our time signature. So the original piece is written in cut time, which is 2/2. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to arrange it 4/4/4 time. So that means we're in comma time, which means the 4 on the top means that there are 4 beats per measure. The number on the bottom tells us what note type it is, and 4 represents quarter notes. So that means we have 4 quarter notes per measure. So just make a note that we are starting on beat 4 rather than on beat 1 of this piece. The next thing we're going to look at is our tempo indication. So the tempo indication is going to be a quarter note equals 160, or if you want it to feel a little bit less like it's frantic, then you can actually put it to the same tempo, but a half note will equal 80. So we'll start first by clapping and counting with the quarter note equals 160. We'll play it on the flute with the quarter note equals 160, and then if you feel like that is just making you feel a little bit too anxious, I'm going to also play it on the flute at a half note equals 80. So this one should be pretty simple to clap. There's just quarter notes and half notes, but make sure that you do clap it a few times, even though you might feel a little bit uncomfortable, so that you make sure it is exactly how it should sound. Alright, so again, the metronome is at a quarter note equals 160. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Very good. Alright, so you should know the melody of that one already. I know I was already singing it when we were doing it. So now that you've clapped and counted and you feel quite confident with it, now we're going to go into playing it with the flute. So if you find that you are uncomfortable with any of these notes, they might be a little bit too high for you, you can always bring it down the octave. But if you're not sure about the exact note names, make sure you write them either on the bottom or on the top of the notes. And then we can do a quick recap. So we are going from just C to a high B flat. So making sure that you know that C is just your first finger and your first finger on your left hand, your right pinky on your left, then you're going to do exactly the opposite for the D, the middle D. So that means it'll be on your left hand, 3, 4, and the thumb, and then 1, 2, 3, that's your D. Next, we're going to play an E. So we have an E at the end here, so then we're going to be adding our first note, our first finger down to that D, and then we still have 3, 4, and then the thumb here, and then 1, 2, lift up your 4th finger, and then you still have your pinky down here, so that's E. For F, all you're going to do is lift up that middle finger, so that's F, so that means you still have 1, 2, 3, 4 in the back, plus this one, and your pinky, that is F. G, you're just going to lift up that finger in your right hand, so that means you just have 1, 2, 3 with the thumb in the back and your pinky here on the right hand. Then you have that high A, so then you're just going to do the same finger, then you're going to lift it up, so you're not putting down your ring finger, so that means you should have 1, 2 in the back, plus your pinky in the right hand. Then the highest one we're going to be doing is that high B flat, so then you're just going to lift up that middle finger from that A and then put down the first finger of your right hand, so it should be your 1 in your left hand with the thumb on the back, then you have your finger on the right hand plus the pinky as well, and that's all you'll need to know. Again, I'll have the fingering chart in the description down below as well if you find that that wasn't a little bit too intimidating. Alright, so that we've cut the clout, now I'm going to be playing this on the flute. So again, the quarter note here is the metronome it's going to be beating 160. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. Very good. All right, now if you find that that tempo feels a little bit too hectic, I'm just going to change the metronome marking here so that a half note, so every 2 beats, you're going to hear the metronome beat that. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. Very good. If you find that, again, this feels a little bit too fast for you, you can go back into the playback settings, so that little gear, click playback settings, and then set it to a lower tempo. It will distort the audio just a little bit, but it'll help you to line up your notes with the metronome marking there. And again, start slow, so if you want, you can even start way slower than this. If you wanted to count quarter notes, you can even start at a quarter note equals 100. Bum, 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 bum. Or slower than that, whatever you need to do to start. Make sure that you aren't making too many mistakes. And then as you slowly get more comfortable with it, then you can slowly move that metronome marking up, maybe 2 or 3 clicks every single day until you get up to the tempo that you want to play at. Alright, so that's going to be it for today's video. Thank you so much for joining me here today. As always, if you have any questions, feel free to drop them in the comment section down below. I do my best to answer them as soon as I see them. And of course, if you have any issues when it comes to practicing, check out my free practice guide, also located in the description down below. And as always, I just wanted to let you know that you are amazing, you're loved, and thank you for joining me here for today's video. And as always, happy fluting!